Next we have Chad Brincheski, owner of ESP Inc, event producer. So Chad, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Good to be.
It's exciting. There's lots of exciting things happening around here right now.
Lots of humans and all the things they're passionate about.
We haven't seen for a while.
Yeah. So tell us about ESP. Where did you guys start? Where is it going?
Oh boy.
Once upon a time, way back.
Once upon a time.
How did you jump in the
So
spotlight?
when I was in grade 3.
Yeah.
No, I do have a grade 3 story. I do have a grade 3 event planning story.
Let's go all the way back there.
No, it's okay. Well, actually, okay, let's do that. When I was 8 years old in grade 3, I organized a surprise birthday party for my teacher. I collected money from everybody, bought a cake, the balloons, the whole thing, and from that day on, I was hooked.
Oh wow! It's the feeling. You generate emotion.
It is the natural high that I know that you get when you are. I don't like to be on stage, but you get when you're on stage.
Even an audience of one.
I get when I see the event that I've just planned for a year come to fruition.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
So what type of events you focus on charity events, is that right?
Corporate. And mostly high profile charity gala fundraisers.
Yeah, what are some highlights of some of the best ones you've ever got to have a part in?
So we work with, every major hospital, Shaw Festival, McMichael Canadian Art Collection, Toronto Public Library Foundation, a bunch of incredible little organizations like Nanny Angel Network that raise money for families whose mothers are undergoing cancer treatment, like just
serious stuff.
The stories, and I spoke this morning at a session for CSE about the effect that our events have on the community, and it was really it really made me think about all of the charitable foundation work that we do and how incredible it is. In addition to that event high, there's also the high of seeing the monies raised and the awareness granted to some of these charities who do incredible work and seeing their goal realized through the event.
Like feeling that you've moved the needle
somewhat. So one of our clients is CanFAR, the Canadian Foundation for AIDS Research. Did an event for them where they were trying to raise enough money to purchase 100,000 HIV self-test kits to be able to send to Indigenous communities and give to marginalized groups that wouldn't otherwise be able to afford or didn't want to go to a hospital or a clinic or stigma associated with that. So, to actually see that happen is incrable.
So back to the emotion, like feeling that you've moved the needle somewhere.
Yeah, and that happens. It happens a lot, When I think over the past 11 or 12 years that my company's existed, I'd like to figure out one day how much of a role we played in the overall financial contributions. I'm sure it's somewhere in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's pretty rewarding.
It's good, that you've had. Is there anything in the next year or two that you think you're going to have to change significantly, or is it like full steam ahead with?
It's pretty full steam ahead. Some events changed their concept during COVID, and ironically, they're keeping that format. For instance, one event that we did, which was a gala, because we couldn't meet in person, they switched the event to a family day in this case, it was a family day at the zoo. And then the next year, they decided everybody liked that family event more than the traditional gala. So they kept that. And the second year, we did a day at the Science Center. And now we're doing a day, the event's called Game Day this year. And we're doing it at Rec Room.
Fun spot.
Rec Room, and then going to a Blue Jays game into a private box.
Fun.
So, they're never going to, they're not going to do a gala again for a long time because they've replaced their event with something that their community and their supporters like more. So that's interesting, for sure.
Geez, so many questions. What's something you're really passionate about implementing in the next year or two?
Implementing. I don't know about implementing, but I have a lot of new clients this year, surprisingly. So I'm excited to work with them on their new concepts. Keeps things different all the time. I really like that. Looking into better formatting the events for people today that want to socialize, that don't want to listen to formalities at the fundraising events that we do, that have limited capacity for what's the word? Limited engagement. No, there's an actual
attention span.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was looking for. I can't even talk.
Squirrel.
Limited attention span. And so you're telling clients are saying, oh, we have an hour and a half of formalities. I'm like, no, you got to cut that down to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose people after the first 15.
Yeah.
So it's just having to schedule social time for people at their tables, because clients want to, okay, let's sit down and let's get right into the formalities, and and people are like,
it's called foreplay.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Just give me a moment to talk to my guests that I haven't seen in how many years, right?
Yeah, I think Julia Solaris was commenting on that, of like how, by using data to listen to attendees of what they actually want versus what you think they want,
right,
and that they pretty much all upvote like networking and social time and educational being preached to down. Like, I know with weddings we at least stop calling them speeches. It's really supposed to be a toast to make it about the couple.
That's interesting.
And by the changing the language of like not calling it a speech but calling it a toast.
Right.
Changing the name of something changes the behavior and the way it's done, I find.
I like that.
What have you seen for, I guess, how do you tell a client, no, we're not doing 90 minutes, it's got to be 20? Like, with the kindest way possible, how do you convince them?
Sometimes, they have to just learn by going through the process and figuring it out. I mean, you do the best that you can, right, to tell people, I'm telling you this because I have the experience to know.
Yeah.
But sometimes they want to go through, no, these 14 people have to speak, and then they realize pretty quickly into the event, when 90% of their guests are talking, that that was the right decision to make. The other day we cut, everything went. We did an event. It was a royal visit, actually, for the Duke of Edinburgh, who is Edward, who is the Queen Elizabeth's son and Charles' brother.
Wow. Okay.
And he was a half an hour late, and it was a school night. Like, it's when you've got people that are in their 50s, 60s. Yeah, I know.
Late
70s.
40s.
Okay, 70s. They don't want to be there till 11:30 on a Tuesday night.
Sleep's important.
They want out by 10, and so we had to tell entertainers that we're doing 3 songs that they could do 1. We had to tell the MC to cut half of what he was going to say for the next half hour, because you just had to modify, react. So yeah.
So what's your role at a production? Are you do you have the job title, or are you like the architect of what's going on? Are you
as I get older,
calling the show, or
as I get
I've
older,
heard this happens, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a little bit less of the logistics side, focus a bit more on sales and client relations. But I'm a food and beverage guy.
Oh, okay, cool.
So some way, shape, or form, I'm working with the kitchen or the maitre d'.
Cuts on the left, burns on the right.
Exactly.
Yep.
And my other team members, take on the role of production and design and decor and the things that they specialize in. But yeah, no, I'm the food and beverage guy.
It's challenging when you've got a time pushing back half an hour that the food quality doesn't dip because it's sat in the warmer a little bit longer.
Well, and the thing is that a lot of people, producers don't. The stage producers don't give a shit about the food.
No, of course.
Right. And so they never factor in clearing. Sorry, they never factor in clearing, serving, all of those things that are really important considerations, right? So
yeah, as an MC, I'm always checking in with the community and just let you know that I'm here to help you be your front of house, and I'm not just going to announce something without telling the catering manager or the photographer, videographer, so they're not like, oh shit, I finally get to sit down and eat, and
Yeah, no, it's important actually, because you do, at the end of the day, people want hot, fresh food, right?
It's they want hot food, cold drinks, and a ripping party, and a couple jokes maybe, and not to suffer through long.
No. In fact, if you have access to food, access to drink, and a decent vibe with some lighting and some music, you're 95% there.
Sign me up. That sounds like a fun night.
I think so.
Yeah. Is there any missing elements you see? That any puzzle pieces that got to come in the next year or two that people are sleeping on?
Trying to get my head around. Trying to get my head around the whole idea of inclusion and making sure that we're following current protocols and guidelines, and learning a lot. We're doing a series of events across the country for Kids Help Phone, and our first event started with "Hello, ladies and gentlemen." And we soon realized when they came running over that it's not ladies and gentlemen anymore, it's hello everyone, hello everybody.
Like what's on the script,
hey folks.
Yeah. I'm the guy that Googles the lyrics to make sure it's on site, especially around children. You gotta, as a parent now, I think about music different than I did as a single guy.
What do you, because you host, you MC, you DJ?
Yeah, we do a lot of weddings and corporate and different stuff, but like when clients pick songs, we use an app that all the attendees can go in and vote on the music and leave notes on, but then sometimes I am red flagging the R. Kelly Kanye collaboration, or if it's a romantic event, I make sure, hey, this Adele song's great, but it's totally about a breakup. Like I don't want to be a bad omen. And it's not like what you said about inclusion is funny because it reminded me of like, it's not a joke unless everybody's laughing.
Right. Yeah, no, that's important. I never thought about that.
So we're not lyrics blind.
Right.
So when in doubt, especially for the big moments, I'll always Google the lyrics.
Oh, wow.
So we don't put our foot in our mouth with our hands.
I just learned something new.
Yeah.
Which is really important. How do you address your audience's weddings or?
Friends and family. There's actually this really cool certification I did through WPIC, which is the Wedding Planner Institute of Canada. Yep. You don't need it to be a planner, but it helps, especially with 140 languages in Toronto. They have this woman, Bernadette Covey-Smith, I think is her name. 14 Stories is her gay wedding certification for LGBTQ, because too often a lot of wedding people ape the same language of same bride and groom as opposed to like Chad and Sam or whoever it is. And even where it says like book more brides, well, even in a hetero relationship, shouldn't the groom have a say? So there's a lot of like aping of language, I find, of placeholder language where people don't know any better. They're not trying to be sexist or homophobic.
No.
They're just aping language on a part-time gig that they're not really taking that seriously.
Right.
And those that have invested in education, like 14 Stories, just taught me how to not put my foot in my mouth, and that at gay weddings, couples might want to go down the aisle together as a big, like, we're allowed to get married now and a show of force. And different ideas, whatever.
So was that a session that you took?
It was like a one-day training.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look up 14 Stories, it'll come up.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting.
I really want to keep talking to you some more, Chad. It's nice to see you again, and we got to keep this rolling, though, because we got so much packed in this amazing day.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Chad Brincheski, everybody, from ESP.